So I'm going to talk about today an alternative of AEM, or basically you can call Adobe Indesign Digital Publishing Suite alternative, because with the InDesign 2015 versions and so on, the DPS is completely a paid service by Adobe and also a part of Adobe Experience Manager. So the service has just not been paid, it's now costly per year. So only maybe big Fortune 500 companies can afford that. So but there are now alternatives to the DPS by third parties, and we're going to talk today about Twixl Publisher, which you see over here. And the Twixl Publisher is basically lets you add interactions, or you can say interactivity, inside your documents, and lets you create an application for Android and iOS. I will be walking through today how to add interactions using the Twixl publishers in InDesign and how to publish it for iOS. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you first now the application which you're going to make, the interactive document which you're going to publish using the Twixl publisher. So you can see I have an application over here which is a nice icon to it, and if I click on it on my phone, it showed our startup screen. Now this is the first screen of the document is showing, and I can do the horizontal scroll if needed. So I can't do the vertical scroll, but I can do the horizontal scroll. The reason is that because I have not enabled the vertical scroll, I just wanted the horizontal scroll. So that's the option which you have inside it. And if I scroll to the second page horizontally, you can see I have a nice map coming up over here, right inside my app, and or you can say an article, and I also have a pop-up which shows a website. So you can just provide any kind of pop-up with, whether it's an image pop-up or it could be another HTML document or a website, which you can see over here. And if I go to the third page, I'm going to show you how to embed a YouTube video inside it. So you can add any YouTube video inside it just using the video ID. And if I go to the fourth page, you can see over here that this is a scrollable column. So I can just scroll it. So let's say if you have a more information which needs to be present in your document, you can but you don't have the space on the page, so you can add it into the scrollable panel if required. Then just below that I have the video. So if I just click on that video, you can see it plays in the full screen. I can even switch to a landscape mode if needed, and on top I can click on done and it closes down. You also have an option just not to play on full screen, so it can just play over here as well. But those settings I'm going to talk about later once we go inside InDesign and create this document. Then we have a slideshow over here. If I click on tap to play, and if I just tap over it, it starts playing it. So you can see the pictures are changing automatically with the crossfade dissolve transitions inside it. Then what we have over here is an animation from Animate CC, formerly known as Flash Professional. So I have imported an HTML canvas animation inside InDesign using a OAM package option in Animate CC. Also on the top I have an image which is basically a high resolution image, but currently showing as a smaller image. But if I double tap on it, you can see it automatically zooms in, and I can scroll through it, see these image in the high resolution, and if I double tap back, it fits to the view again. Also at the bottom I have a button which takes me to the site, or basically a hyperlink. So any hyperlink you can provide inside it, and it will automatically redirect to a link which you have provided there. So I'm just clicking allow, and you can see you have it's asking for the location because it's a Google map which I have. I click OK, that's fine. and you can see it opens up. It's basically an in-app browser. Once it's done, close back, and on the last second last page I have states again, which basically, so if I click on the map over here, some of the points, as you see over here, the information at the bottom, the image at the bottom, and the information on the left hand side changes. So if I click over here, and you can see it changing the information and the image as well. Then if I go ahead, I have a sound playing over here. So basically it automatically plays when my page loads. I can on and off that by just tapping over here, as well as I can see the web browser. So it's basically an embedded website inside my application, and I can use this website inside it, inside my phone. I can even search for something if I want. So let's say if I type InDesign, I can search within the Google over here. So this is what I'm going to create inside Twixl Publisher, right? So let's get started with Twixl Publisher with InDesign. So I'm going to close this and get into InDesign. So as you can see, I am inside InDesign, and you have to basically install the Twixl Publisher inside InDesign. So I'm using InDesign CC 17 version, and you will have to go to your web browser to first download the Twixl Publisher plugin, or you can say next extension. And if I go over here, so you can just type up the website name, so the twixlmedia.com. If you go over here, you have an option to free trial and download. So you can click on the free trial and download. With free trial, you can create one application for testing on your phone, whether you're using Mac or Windows. You can do for both. So I have downloaded already the Apple Twixl Publisher 5.5.2 for Mac. Once you download this application, by just clicking on that, so as you can see, it's downloading the application. So as you can see, this is almost complete, and the Twixl Publisher has now been downloaded into my system. And if I double click on it to launch it, you can just click on agree, and it will mount the DMG file after verifying it. And you can simply click and drag the Twixl Publisher inside the applications, and I already have done that. So once you click and drag it inside the application folder, and if you want to launch this, I actually basically have already installed it. So if I open it, I'd see something like that. But when you will open for the first time, you want to see the following screen. So I have a screenshot of that. What it asks you is to install the Twixl Publisher plugins for Adobe Indesign. So you can just simply click over here, and it will automatically install all the plugins needed for Adobe Indesign. Then you can install the Twixl Publisher help. So if you need the help file, you can just simply click to install. This is optional, and depending on the choice you want to create the application for, so you can download the SDK for iOS SDK, and the Xcode application, and the Android SDK. So I'm going to show you the process of Apple iOS SDK and Xcode, and I've already downloaded the Xcode from the App Store. So you can even click over here to download the Xcode, or you can go to the App Store and manually download the Xcode. Xcode is a pretty heavy application. It's going to require almost about 10 GB of space for installing it, and the download size would be approximately, I guess, 5 to 6 GB. So you need to be patient while you install this. You need this because once you complete a document within InDesign using Twixl Publisher plugin, you will need to turn on the app using the Xcode and the Apple iOS SDKs. Once you're done with all the 3 processes or the 4 processes, whichever you like, so this 2 or this 2 are compulsory. So once you're done with that, just click continue, and you're going to see the following screen. So once you do it, make sure you restart your InDesign. Once you will restart your InDesign, and if you go to InDesign, if you go to Window option, you have Extensions menu option, and over here you have two plugins now installed, known as Twixl Importer and Twixl Publisher. The Twixl Importer basically lets you import any old document you have in DPS, which is made in maybe DPS 6 version of InDesign, or some 13 CC version or 14 version, or even if you have created a DPS version in the latest version of InDesign season 17, it's going to import that and convert it to a Twixl Publisher interactive options. We're going to start with a fresh document, so we don't need the importer as of now. We just need the Twixl Publisher. So if I click on the Twixl Publisher, it will open on a panel for me. The first option you have is to create a publication. So publication is like a book in InDesign you have, so which can have multiple articles. So depending on your choice, you can just click on article or you can just click on publication. Publication is the best choice because in publication you can add as many as articles you need it. So this is like a master application which has sub pages inside it, or sub articles you can say. You can even go to file and get a new document, but I don't recommend that when you're working with Twixl Publisher, because when you create a publication from here and if you create a new document from here, the benefit is going to set your document. You want to do some of the settings in your document which can help you at a later stage. For example, if I click on new publication over here, I can give a name to it. Let's give it a name and go to let as test _1. You can put over here whether you need title bar button with search and bookmarks, which helps the user to have a bookmark inside the articles. Reading style left to right or right to left depending on your language. Allow swiping to change articles and pages. This is what I want, and I just need the horizontal swapping, so there will be no vertical swapping allowed, or you can say scrolling allowed, so you can just check that. And allow sharing on social media, so your app can be shared on social media or not. I will take a template. So depending on the device you're targeting, make sure you set the document over here, and later at a later stage, if you see, you have an option to create alternative layouts. So out of one layout you can even create other layouts, but of course you need to make some changes as per the size required, but you have the option to create alternative layouts as well. I have a file name which I can give over here, so I'm going to name the file name same test _1. Can give a title to you. It's working with Twixl Publisher. Twixl. And tagline is this is phone test _1. I click OK. So once I click OK, what you will see is that InDesign asks you to save your document. So I'm going to save it inside this particular folder which I have, and I click save. So it creates one book for you in InDesign and one article inside it, or one document. Now what is the benefit of this document is, if you see that it automatically creates different layers for you. That's the first thing. So for each interaction you have a different layer over here which you can choose from. Also, once you create that, make sure that you switch the working profile from here to digital publishing suite. And you can see you have this preflight. This preflight basically helps you to know whether you have anything which is not compatible with digital publishing suite of InDesign, and even with the Twixl Publisher. For example, resolution of your image. If your resolution of your image is too low, maybe too high, digital publishing suite is going to show you errors over here. So we have created a new document, and to get started, you can start creating the application. But I'm not going to use this because I already have one document created which has certain designing in it, but we want to add certain interactive elements inside it. I'm going to close this. I'm going to open the current document which I have over here. So what I'm going to open is the current document. So I already have one book which you can see as two wheels good.indb. I'm going to click that. I'm going to close the test one which we created. So I'm just going to right click over here, close, and I just have this open. And I already have the complete document which I basically showed you in the start of this demo. My document, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to add the non-completed document here, so I can show you how to add interactions inside the document. So I'm going to say minus over here, so I can anytime remove the document from here, and I can even add by clicking on the plus icon over here, right? So I can click on the plus icon, go to desktop, wherever I have that. So basically I have created a package before, so I'm going to import that over here to open it up. So it's an 8-page document, and if I double click on it, you can see that article opening over here. And if I show you the number of pages, so it has number of 8 pages inside it, which has the basic designing in place over here for the iPhone 6 portrait. That's the first page. We really don't want any interactions inside it. Then we have some empty boxes. So these are basically rectangle frames which I have created over here, and they all are placed on their respective layers. So we just need to add the content inside it. This is not compulsory, but this is good. If you're working with Twixl Publisher, it's very good to work on different layers, so it can actually compile it easily while exporting it. Also, it makes the document more manageable and easily to find the layers at a later stage. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, there are a lot of empty frames which I have over here. I'm going to add the informations inside it. Let's get started with the second page. So on this box, now if you see, your Twixl Publisher panel changes to assign an element. Earlier, if nothing is selected in your document, if you just select the blank page, it shows you this preview. But if you select the rectangle frame placeholder, it's going to show you this view and shows you what all options you can add over here. So first we need is a web widget. So if I click on the web widget, I can type up the new address. So this is the address which will type normally in the Google Maps search bar or Apple Maps search bar. So I'm going to simply say New Delhi. You can be more specific to a particular address, India. This is the info of the window which will have the contents. So you can just write that. If you want to show kind of a tooltip inside it, so you can just write that, or you can just write any other information required. You can even set the initial zoom, and display has roadmap, satellite, hybrid, or terrain, whatever required. Then I will just move down over here, and if you want to unassign any of the panels, let's say by mistake you clicked on map widget and you want to go back to the previous panel to assign a different widget to this particular rectangle frame placeholder. So what you can do is you can click on unassign as maps widget over here, and it will take you to the previous panel. Now I'm going to select this. So I just basically at back of this I just have an image which says visit the website and click here. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to create a web overlay. So I'm going to place it over here, and I'm going to open the web overlay. So web overlay is like basically a pop-up which I'm going to open up. So click on the web URL. You can go to the URL to trigger. So you can type up the URL you want to trigger basically over here, and I basically need the following URL. So I'm going to copy this URL. Make sure you copy the complete https / and the complete path. So the link has to be basically over here absolute in case if you want to access the website, or if you want to pick up any resource within the folder. Let's say you have a HTML file locally stored on your system. So what you can do is you should put that in the web resource. So when you created this document, actually it automatically also creates one folder for you. So that folder is basically known as web resource. As you can see, I have that folder over here created by it, known as web resource. So from where it can have any kind of local HTML files to be embedded inside your document. So if you have something like that, you can just simply click on select web source, take you to the web source folder, which is it is linked to it, and you can select the document from here. It could be a PDF, it could be a HTML document, or it could be the external HTML URL for it. So I'm going to have an external URL over here, as you can see. Then you have the analytics name. This will be visible in all the widgets you will put. This is useful for tracking in iOS, or basically you can say in Google Analytics. We want the tracking of a particular object, how many people have clicked on it, or maybe what is the interaction level on the particular page. So this analytics name is going to help you basically identify your widget. So you can even rename it over here. You can just put different name, or you can just automatically Twixl Publisher also assign a random ID to it, which you see in this case is 2883. Then I can define the width and height of that pop-up which is going to appear. So I'm going to say 250 by 250 in this case. I need the background color to be 50 and opacity set to 50. So the background color is black and opacity set to 50. So everything is going to get little darker and the pop-up will appear in center. I can say allow user interaction, so people can even interact with the pop-up. Show scroll bars if you require, and show the loading indicator. So I want to on that show loading indicator. So when the website is still loading, I want to show the indicator of loading, so the user gets a little sense that something is loading. So let's move to the next page. Same over here, I have a rectangle frame, and over here I want to assign an Adobe movie ID, YouTube ID basically. So not the Adobe. So if I go back and say assign, I want a YouTube movie. So I click over here. I can just simply provide the video ID over here. And if you go to your web browser, if you have a video open in YouTube, you can simply copy the ID from here. So this is not the best way to copy it. So what I do is always is if I go bottom, you can see the share button. If you click on the share button, this is the ID you need. This is this video ID. So I'm going to copy this video ID from here to here, from J to this. Or sometimes basically if you click and drag, it's going to select the complete URL. So you can even copy the complete URL, copy it and paste it over here. But then remove the starting of it. Just keep the ID over here because we don't require everything inside it. So I'll just keep my cursor there, go over here and remove the other parts. So we just need the video ID over here. Then I wanted to allow full screen, show video information. So suggested videos at the end of the movie. If you want to play on page load, you can check that, and if you want to play in a loop, you can even check that. I don't require that, so I'm just going to use the first three default options on. Then let's go next, and what we have is a box, a bigger box over here. But what I want to show is I want to also show a video at the bottom over here, and for that this content box has to be smaller. So if I make this smaller, you can see the text oversits, which we don't want. So I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to copy this by pressing Ctrl C or Command C, or you can go to Edit, Copy. Then I'm going to delete it, or you can even cut it. So I'm going to delete that. We'll get a text frame. This will be the size what I require basically over here. And what I'm going to do is, because I've already copied the previous text frame, after I make this, I'm going to edit, paste into. So that gets pasted inside this frame. So if I double click, I have the original frame there, which is of larger size, you can see. But inside this frame, the frame of basically the parent frame is smaller. And if I now select this, you can see it automatically detects that this is a scrollable content. So I can say allow scrolling, show the scroll bars, and if you want to say zooming enabled, so you can even say zooming enabled, so which will let you zoom in. So this is majorly used for images, which I will show at the later stage. So we've done that. I just want to put the video over here, so I go to File, Place, and I have a package over here. Inside the completed packages, I have the links. I will take the video from here, which is in the MP4 format. Make sure it is in the MP4 format with a codec of .264. Open, and I'm going to place it over here like that. You can see it automatically detects this is a video, so it shows me the movie widget. It asks me to show movie controllers or not. You can check that. So you want to play in loop, you can say play in loop. I want to play on page load, but I want to allow it as page play full screen. And if you want to return to the poster frame after playback, you can check that. So what happens is poster frame is what you initially see over here. So that's the option, right? So you can check and uncheck that. So I'm going to uncheck the return to poster frame after playback, right? And then let's go to the next page. Now this is where I want a slideshow. And for slideshow, you need to first place all your images inside the text frame. So what I'm going to do is, actually I already have a text box placed over here, but I'm going to remove that because I need to create a slideshow. I'm going to remove that. I'll go over here to File, go to Place, and I'm going to choose all these pictures which you see. I'll take these 5 pictures which I have from 1 to 5, open them, and I get this frame. So instead of placing them one by one, I'm going to just click once like that, and then I'm going to use the right and left arrows to create multiple boxes. So I can create 5 columns basically. Let me just make it bigger so you can see that. So I'm going to create something like that. So I will have all the pictures placed over here. But what I need is, I just need to fill each of them. So I'm going to select the frame, right click. So let's select all of them instead of selecting one on one. Select all of them, right click, fit content proportionally. So it fills up the proportionally. And let's do one more thing. I think I should choose fit content to frame. That should be a good option, yeah. And now I'm going to select all of them back like I did previously, and I'm going to use the align panel. So I will go to Windows, Object and Layout, Align, and with the align panel I'm going to choose align center from bottom. Okay, this is a mistake which I've done. Let me just undo, because when I was clicking over it, I by mistake clicked on this circle in this image. Let's deselect that. Make sure you don't click in the center, because I'm going to select the inside image. We don't want that. I'm going to align it again horizontally and vertically. Then I'm going to select like this to select all the images in the background, and press the Shift and Control key with the Alt key to make the box bigger from the center like that. And let me just try to leave the Shift key, pressing Alt and the Command key, or you can say Alt and Control key in your Windows. Now to create something like that. That's a little stretched, which we don't want. So let's keep it like that and center this. So basically what I have is, I have each image in back of it, so they are overlapping to each other. I'm to select all of them like that, go to Window, and you will have to use the interactive panel of InDesign, the default interactive panel. Over here you have known as object states. I'm going to select the object states and click on create new. We're going to add all the images over here, as you can see, and if you go through each state, you can see it is basically changing the images. This is what we need. I'm going to name this as Slideshow, enter that, and now if I select this, it will automatically show that the Twixl Publisher is showing a slideshow widget over here. So I want to export as non-transparent JPG or PNG. So this is basically a JPG, so we don't want transparency at the background of that. Transition style, So let's do crossfade and the duration of crossfade. So let's keep it 1 second. So if you want to show scroller view indicators, you can even do that. But this is not which I'm going to on over here. Allow swiping to change the states and allow full screen view. You can even do that if required. But I'm going to check this tap to play. So when I click on it, then only it plays. Or you can even set to autoplay at certain intervals. So you can even say autoplay, let's say with 1 second of interval, and play in loop. With this done, let's go down, and over here I'm going to insert an image, which is a very high resolution image I have over here. So I'm going to go to file, place, and I'm going to take the following image. Let me just see that when it's stored. Yeah, this is the one. This is a little high resolution image which I have, and I'm just going to put it over here on the side, so you can see it's a bigger image. And then I'm going to select this image, go to edit and cut. Control X or Command X in your Windows. So cut, select this frame, and then go to edit, paste into, and this image comes inside it. The last thing which I want to is I just want to right click fitting and say center the content inside the frame. It is already centered. Let's see. Yeah, so it's already centered over here. You can see now it's going up, so it has some boundaries inside it. It will not look like this once you publish it. So this is just the preview over here you're getting, but once you publish it, the image will be seen properly over here. And over here I need an animation from Flash, or you can say the newer name is Animate CC. So if you open Animate CC, so it was formerly known as Flash, and over here on the welcome screen in Animate CC, I'm going to use a template. So you can even create your own animation in HTML5 canvas. And here in templates, if you go to HTML5 canvas, you have a sample animation. So click OK. You have a nice animation here. If you go to controls, you can even test the movie in browser. Just click on test. Right now what this animation is about, so I'm just going to export that. So I will go to file, go to publish settings, and I will uncheck JavaScript and HTML. So you don't have to do this. You need a OAM package which will work in your EPUB as well, the fixed layout EPUB, and even with InDesign interactive publishing. So not the PDFs, not the interactive PDF. What I mean is the DPS solution or the Twixl Publisher. Now select this OAM package. I'm going to say generate from the current frame. I need a PNG. If you need transparent, you can check that. I'm going to output it to the folder over here. You can see I already have that. So let me just name it as new Animate CC animation. Save that and click on publish. So once you publish it, you can simply go back to InDesign, select the frame which you already have, or you can create a frame while you place that. So you can go to file, place, and you will have that OAM package over here. So as you can see, this is the which I just exported, OAM package. I will open it and it will be placed inside it. You can see it just takes a little time to load up and shows the frame over here too. So currently it will not be previewable here, but once I go to preview over here or create the final application, I will be able to see that. Now we have a button over here. So we basically don't have a button, it's basically a graphic which I just have, and you can create a button to it by going to window, interactive, buttons and forms. So you can even use some of the features in Twixl Publishers from the interactive feature, interactive panel. So I can go to button and forms. This is actually already converted to a button. So it has a button to it, it has a name to it, so you can just give it any name to it. and on release or tab. So because we use ejections inside it, so I'm going to use release or tab over here, and I'm going to add an action. So these are the actions which I can add over here. But remember, some of them are only supported in EPUB and PDF. So the ones which are in EPUB are also supported inside DPS, and even this will be supported in DPS. But what we want to do is we want to open a URL. So let's go to the URL, and you can type up your URL over here. So I can say maps.google.com. Once done that, you can even have different states for hover and click if required, and that's it. So once I will click over here, I will go to the maps.google.com. Next, this is basically I have already made, so I'm just going to give you an idea. Over here what I have done is I basically have used different states. So if I select this, and if I go to window interactive object states, you can see I have different states with this columns as well, changing, overlapping at the background. You can see over here with images, and this state is changing on these buttons. So I have created this icons as buttons. So if I go back to interactive buttons, what I say is this is a button which goes to the next state. It goes to the state which is defined over here. So you have the states over here. So you can choose which button will go to the which state, and if you go to. So it's basically a mixture of buttons and states like we did in slideshow over here. So let me move down. So this is already created, which I have created before, and then I just go down. Sorry for that pop-up. Let me just go down, and the last page over here I'm going to have the web viewer. So I will just click on web viewer. I can just type the URL over here, https://google.com. Make sure again you have to write the absolute path or write a relative path to your web resources. I want to allow user interaction, open links inline, use scroll bars, they're visible, and show the loading indicator. Same ways, let's go down and add an audio to it. So basically I just have a simple icon edit, then of that I have a blank, again a rectangle frame box over here. I'm going to select this box, and I'm going to file, place. I'm going to import the audio over here. So I'm going to just put the audio. Make sure your audio is in MP3 format because that's the widely accepted format for any device. So I'm going to click open, and my audio is now embedded inside it. I can say play on page load without any delay, and you can even tap on it to play and pause it. And you have noticed that they all are on a different layer. So if you go to the layers panel, some of them are in the base layer, but if you see that I have sounds layer, so it sounds is on the sound layer. And if I go to the page where I have the movie, so the movie is in the, it should be in the, oh, so basically see, like we have done a mistake over here. So the movie is in the layer scrollable content. So let's move this. So I can simply go to the particular video and let's move it inside movies. So it's better to organize it basically. This is helpful for organizing over here, so you can know which layer is what. So by mistake I placed in sound, so I'm going to just move that inside the movies. And this frame is telling that this is now in the red color. Let's check the sound once, I think. So we should be done. So like you have sounds over here. Now we are ready to publish. So what I have to just do is we'll have to go to the publisher. First of all, I need to save this document. So I go to file, save. Then I might require to save my book as well. So click save the book because that's the publication I have. And if I click on side, go to window, publisher. Make sure nothing is selected in your document. Then go to show you So it's going to take some time to show this options. And from here I can go to first of all properties. So I can edit this properties, like I have the given name, file name, and like horizontal sloping is only on. So I can even change the settings at a later stage. And also you have some preferences which you can set over here. You can set the cache size. You can even clear the cache size if you've been working for very long. You can also say show warnings during preview and show warnings during sharing and export. I have unchecked that, so it will show you these two errors. If you check that, I'm going to tell you to fix that. These errors are nothing, is basically I've used some of the images which does not meet the requirements of digital publishing suite in the resolution, but that's fine. We're just doing a test tab over here. I'm going to click OK, and you have also a debugging mode, so you can enable debugging mode, so it stores some of the logs inside your Xcode. And if you want to create multiple alternative layouts, you can even click on alternative layouts. You can check to create for what device you want to create an alternative layout and click OK. This is basically what we'll do is it will create a layout next to your other pages. So this will be like iPhone layout, then you will have another list of pages over here with a different layout at the bottom. So here you can click and create an alternative layout if required. And you can even link the story. Link the story means that if you edit the text in any one of the layouts, it will edit in all the layouts automatically. And it will also you can copy the styles to a new group style. So if you're creating any paragraph style or object style, it will be copied as a style and placed into a group. Let's say you have a style currently for iPhone V, it will automatically get a folder for iPhone H and copy all your styles, so you can edit those styles in this particular layout. I will cancel that. Now to preview your application, you can simply click on preview. You can click on preview publication. You can choose the device you want to view on with the SDK installed, so it is going to show you all these options in the ISO simulator. Export as PDF, that's fine. Click OK. And if you click OK, it's going to export the publication for the preview and then open the Xcode automatically in my system. So you can see it automatically opens the Twixl Publisher. It's preparing the build. It launches the Xcode, launches the simulator basically of the Xcode, and you can see the phone is coming up over here. Now it's launching the iOS 11 inside the simulator, and you can see the iOS has been started up now. Now it's going to basically copy my application over here and launch it. You can see the application has been launched over here. Just giving a little blank screen. Now the preview is successful and it should load my document over here. Yes, so you can see the document is now loaded, and I can scroll over here to test it out. So you can see the map will load in a minute, so showing the loading. Over here you can see the New Delhi coming up here. As a context, if you click here, you get a web pop-up which is again loading. It's loading the website inside it, and I also have the YouTube video which is loading over here. You can see it shows in a minute. When I scroll ahead, I have this scrolling bar, so it's unfortunately showing a different image here. That's the problem in simulator sometimes you get. Right, but we'll also test it on the phone in a minute. So let's go ahead. I click here, it should show me the slideshow over here. So let's click. Yeah, it's showing the slideshow now. Go ahead. It's showing the image, showing the animation and the button. So if I click here, it shows me the browser. Let's click OK. Done. And let's go ahead. It shows me these different states, so I can click over here. And if I go to the last page, it plays the sound. Now if I click, it poses the sound and it shows me the Google over here. Some of the features are not working here, so we're going to test that in the phone. So I'm going to click home button here. You can close the simulator quit the simulator and click done over here. Now to export it, actually, you will go back to the Twixl Publisher and click on export publication. I'm going to click on export publication, and before I do that, I can see that my story is not saved. Let me save my story as well. Sorry, the book, not the story, so book. And I'm going to go to publication, export. Now wherever you want to save your publication, you can just select that option. So I'm going to go over here, look at a new, I will say new publication, create the folder and save it in the PDF format. This requires Twixl reader. Basically, it's an would automatically create a Twixl reader inside your application. Click OK, and it's going to save that. Yeah, so it's finished exporting it. And if I go to my folder in my Finder, new publication, you will see this app. The name of the document with dot publication. Now this can be converted into an app, and for that, go to open the Twixl Publisher from your applications folder, and you can click on build. We're going to click on build and create a new build over here. I need to give my application a name, so let's name it as to Wheels Publication. Give it as a new name. I will click on next. It's going to ask me what kind of application you want to create. We'll create a single issue for web reader. We'll create an app store Xcode app, which can basically be downloaded from the app store and can have in-app purchases for subscriptions. But for that, you also need an account at Twixl distribution platform, or you can create an article based app. I'm going to create a single issue and an app reader app over here. This is just for the deployment options, or you can say for testing the. We're just going to test this out in the phone. We're not going to actually put it on the app store of iPhone. So I'm going to use this single issue option. I'll go to next. It's going to ask me the application name, which is automatically giving it. I just want to build for phones, not for tablet and phones. And the languages you support in your application, you can choose that. So I'm going to uncheck everything and just want to support the English language. And also I'm going to off the rating, so you can even check that if required. Let's go to the next state. Let's go to ask you for the analytics key. So if you want to track your interactions inside the application, you can put the Google Analytics key over here for iOS, Android, and for web reader. You can get that key from the google.com/analytics account. So I don't need that. And if you want to do multiple issues inside it, then you can even provide the key for localist, but we don't require that as well. So I'm going to go to the next state, and it's going to ask me for artwork. What kind of icons do you need? I will click over here. I already have an icon made over here in a particular size, so let's go over here, go to wheels, complete package, and I have this icons over here. I would choose this icon, which is in 1024. Choose. You can choose for Android, but we are not going to publish Android, so I'm not going to change that. I'll go to iOS portrait screen for startup screens. I will go over here. I think that's for tablets. So I just going to publish for phones. So I will just go to phones, portrait, and I have this image with me. And if you have a larger phone, maybe let's say iPhone Plus, so you need one more image for that. Make sure the size exactly matches the size, otherwise it's going to give you an error while building the application. And we don't require landscape because we have not created the alternative layouts for the landscape, the horizontal. Go to next state. Now it's going to ask me the iOS provision development mobile provision profile. Now this has to be downloaded from your Apple developers account. So what you can do is, I'm going to show you the complete process. So what you can even do is, you can log into developers.apple.com, you can log in over here your Apple ID which you already have. So this is the ID which I have for the sign in, and you can see it signs in. It asks me for the verification of identity, so I say allow. I'm going to say 621694 over here, done, and say remember this process. If you check that, then it's not going to always identify your identity, and click continue. So once you come to your developer's account, you can get the tools, you can build your first app and join the Apple developers program. So this is where you need to click to get that provisioning profile. So I click over here. This is going to give you an overview of it, what this development community means to you, just an understanding of that. And if you want to enroll, you can click on enroll from here. I'm going to say enrolling as an individual or organization, so you can have two options basically to choose from. So I'm going to say start enrollment. I'm going to say I'm going to develop the app as individuals. So if you have a company, you can check that. Right. I will say continue. I can provide my phone number with an extension. Let's say Delhi. So you have an agreement which you need to download. You can download as a PDF. You can click over here to agree with the agreement of Apple and click continue. Right. So it's going to show you all the details which you have entered, and you can just click on continue. Once you continue, you can basically, it's going to ask you to buy and pay a cost to Apple as $99. So you can pay that, and then you will get a 1-year subscription for the Apple ID, and you can actually publish your applications to the App Store. So once you will purchase this account, it will take around 48 hours for Apple to basically activate your account, and then you will be able to download the provision profile. And how do you create the provision profile, that I'm going to show you over here. So for that, I'm going to log in with a different account because I don't want to continue with the purchase as of now. I already have an account from where I can download the provision profile. So I go to the other tab. So that's the account which I want to log in with. I click in sign in to login, and it takes me inside the developer's account, which is an active account with the annual membership of Apple. So as you can see, I have now logged in into my account, and over here I can actually create the certificates, identifier, and profiles. So what I can do over here is you can even click over here, or you can click on this tab, and you will go inside the certificate identifiers and profiles. So over here I already have 3 certificates which you can see over here. You can actually add an ISO certificate for your MacBook Pro, right? This is a certificate which you will need to add inside your keychain access, which you see over here. It's an application in Mac, and this process needs to be done because the Apple account over here needs to verify your system for developing for the Xcode applications. I have already done that before. And the next step is, what we have to do is we need to create a provisioning profile. So if you go to provisioning profiles, you have a development profile, provisioning profile which needs to be made. But before that, you go to this development provision profile, you need to create an app ID. So to go to app IDs, you just click on add from here, and you can register an app from here. So you can just give it a name to your app. So I just say to wheels, put in the ID. You can give in a bundle to it. So bundle could be something like this, if you see. So I'm going to say .com issue to wheels, and let's go down, and you can on the services which you would like to enable inside your application. So we really don't require anything except push notifications maybe. So you can add on the push notification services over here. You click continue. I will configure, so register, and done. You just need to remember your app name which you gave. So I gave basically the name as Two Wheels. If you remember that, just need to remember this name. And now if you go to the provisioning profiles, go under development tab. Over here you can add a new provisioning profile. Just click on add. I need a provisioning profile for iOS app deployment. Click on continue. I'm now going to choose the app ID which I just created in the identifiers. So that was named as Two Wheels. Click on continue and choose the certificate account. So I'm going to just choose the first one. This is something which you create over here in all certificates. You can just click on add there and add it. Click continue over here, and then I'm going to select the devices. So my device is already added, which you see is Vishu over here. I'm going to select the device from here and click continue. I'm going to give my profile a name. So let me just give a profile name as new Wheels and click continue to save that. Now I'm going to download this file. So you can see the download option is given to you. You can just simply download it, and this will be downloaded to your downloads folder. You can see I have it over here. Now I can go back to my Twixl Publisher and then ask me for the iOS provisioning profile for the deployment of the application. So I double click over here, downloads, and I'm going to select the file which I just downloaded. So it's named as new. So it's here. You can see it says choose the provisioning profile and gives the next step now. So I can simply go to next step. If you need for Android, you can get an Android application ID, or you can even import a key store of Android. So next. Now this is a pixel distribution platform application key which you need. For that you need to click over here on the link provided. So if you click over here, it's going to take you to the platform.twixlpixel.com. I already have a test application over here. You can just add one application in the free version. So you can just click on add application from here. What kind of application you want to create? It should be an article based application which I want to create, and then you need to give your application name, identifier name, like we did in iOS provisioning, right? So give your title, an icon to your application, and supported email ID, and you can add it. Once you click on add, you're going to get something like this, and if you click over here, you're going to get an application key. So this is the app key you have. So I'm going to copy this app key, go to my publisher, paste it over here, and you can even test it. So I'm going to tell you whether it's valid or not. So you can see it's valid. I'm going to click save, and I will create my build. If you go to advanced settings, you can check some of the advanced settings which you have over here for co-signing, sharing options. So you can go to the settings which you just did before coming to this step. So you can click on advanced settings. Now to create a build, so let's create a build. You give your application a version name. So it's a one version. I'm going to edit it. You can change its name if required over here in the build settings. So that's the build settings showing. So if you want to edit that, you can edit from here, and you can change the name from here if required. And then I want to publish for iOS deployment build. If you do not provide the provisioning profile over here, it will not show you this option to enable this option. Now you can simply click on build. Now it's going to select the output folder you require, which needs to be builded. So I will go to the folder which I have over here, and so I'm going to take this one, also create an app folder and select the output folder. Now it's going to build the application for me. And a lot of people ask me that is it a free way to get the provision file? There's no free way. You need to pay $99 USD to Apple to get the iOS provisioning profiles. So you can see unfortunately it's showing me an error, the build has failed. No problem, I'm going to click on done and go to retry once more. So I go to the build, I'm going to select the settings which we just did is available to us over here. I will click on next and I'm going to select the same settings, but you can see the publication is not coming here. So I'm not able to select my publication over here, so there is some issue in it. Let me check what went wrong. And if I go to edit, actually it says app type as multi-issue app, which I cannot do with the trial version. So I need to make sure that it's a single issue app based. So that was a mistake. We said done. Now it should have given the option to add the publication over here. So I'm going to select that. The publication which I exported is over here. So select that publication and again click on build. Go to save it in the same folder, that's fine. Go to override that. Now let's see if it's able to build. Okay, so you can see that it's showing me an error that the push notifications are not supported in single issue applications and you should disable them. So in my provisioning profile I have enabled it. So what I have to do is I need to disable the push notification because I'm going to create a single issue applications. So what I'm going to do is I will go up over here. I will go to the app IDs, the identifiers. I have created my app, which is two wheels. Over here, I'm going to disable the push notifications. I'm going to edit that and then disable the push notifications. Okay, and done. So you can see it has been disabled now. I will go to my provisioning profiles again. Go to my provisioning file which I created, named as new two wheels, and it says invalid status because I have made some changes in the app ID. So let's go to edit and go to re-generate that file. Just click on generate again and generate it again. Just download it. I will just go back to my publisher, click on done and click on build again. So you don't have to do all the settings again. Just click on next, and but over here you need to click on edit because we need to change our provisioning profile. So and we have the code signing. So I will click over here and then go to my downloads, new provisioning profile, which is the second one. I require this one. Process like this, close, and now build it. Select the folder, say replace that, and you can see now it has been building. So I see all the green check marks over here of building an iOS application. It's packaging the iOS application, cleaning up, and I have the application ready over here. So go to show folder, you can see the application is ready. Now how do you transfer it? What you have to do is you need to connect your phone with the USB cable, your iPhone or whatever iOS device you have, and then go to Xcode or launch Xcode, go to window, select device and simulators, and you can see now it says currently the phone is disconnected. And you have to remember one more thing, that if you're doing this process for the first time, make sure you go to Xcode preferences, go to accounts and add your Apple ID over here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, which I already have in my applications. And I'm going to add the new application. So I can simply click and drag it also. Click and drag over here and it says busy installing it. As you can see now, it has finished installing the application inside my phone and I have the application installed now. But one of the issues which I see over here itself is that it has a different icon, but though we define a different icon. Actually, with the Twixl Publisher, I've seen sometimes that it has some issues with the icon. It assigns a default icon many times. So I'll just click on done again, and if you go to build again, click on edit, go to the artworks, and you can see the artwork is empty over here. I think it got resetted when I changed the application type from here. So I'm going to again assign the icons which I have with me. So it takes that icons while it builds the application. So I'm going to take the startup screen also, which I have made. Sorry for that. So select this one and select this one over here. So taking two portrait startup flash screens and application icon. Click close and then next to build. So now it should have the application builder with the icons. And this is how you can replace it also. If you make any changes in InDesign and save the application again, so you can just rebuild it very easily. And you can see now it takes that icon over here. I'm going to remove the application which is already on my phone and add this new one which I just republished. Or if you have clicked and drag it, Xcode will automatically replace the application. And you can see now the Xcode has finished installing it and the application has been installed. So let me show you how does it looks inside the phone. So as you can see now I have the application on my phone, and if I click on the application over here, it's going to show me this flash screen and going to show me the first page inside it. So swap it to see if all my functions are working inside it. You can see, go over here, let's go to next, and I should be able to see the YouTube application frame over here. Yeah, that's loaded. Then I go ahead and see the scroll over here. I have the video, I can play that. Then I go over here, tap here to see the picture slideshow. You can see now the picture slideshow on over here. So I just tapped it again, and we have a picture on the top. So that is not working right on the top, but you can see the animation working at the bottom. I even click on the top link, bottom link. It's now loading the web page which I wanted. Click OK, that's fine. So everything seems to be fine except this image as of now. Let's go to the next page, and we have the states over here, different states which I can click with to change over here. And if we go to the last page, we have the audio which is playing back in my phone, and also the website browser. So the only issue which we have over here left is that this image is not working fine. So the image should have actually automatically fitted inside it. So let's see what is the issue over here. So if I go back to InDesign, go to this page and see how we can make this full. So you can see the, unfortunately, I guess the scrolling has not been enabled here while exporting. So let me just enable it again, enable zooming and show scroller bars, save this document, even save the book if not saved. So the book is already saved, the article is saved now, and I just need to deselect everything, again export my publication which I have open, yes, override it, click OK. So there you go, now it's published, and I will go back to my Twixl Publisher, click on done over here, and again build my app without changing any settings. I don't need to do anything. I can even change, if I want, I can change the version of it. That's fine. I will just replace the application which we already have. Replace that. I'm going to quickly build that application, and it's built. So I go back to, I shall show in Finder, go back to Xcode, move the current application which I have, and then again copy paste the application. Now once done, I will go back to my phone, and you can see now it has replaced with the new one. So if I open this and go to the same page where we had the issues, let's scroll to the other page, scroll, and we come here, and you can see now the image is being perfect, and if I double tap, I can actually zoom in and navigate inside the image. And if I double tap again, it goes back. So that's how you can easily create an application using Adobe InDesign and Twixl Publishers without using AEM, or known as digital publishing solutions. So thank you so much, and I hope it was a good learning for you, and you will be able to now easily create an application based articles or magazines, or you can say publications. Thank you.